Hello and welcome again to Rewind. I'm Laura Kyle. Since we launched Al Jazeera English back in 2006, our library of award-winning documentaries has been growing year by year. And here on Rewind, we're revisiting some of the best of them. Today, we're rewinding more than 10 years to a series that looked at the daily lives of children in conflict zones. We've picked a particularly moving episode in which the filmmakers travelled to Gaza, where today 45% of the population are children under 15, all of whom have first-hand experience of the machinery and consequences of violence. The children you're about to meet had all been traumatised by their day-to-day lives in Gaza, but as you'll see, they are somehow immensely inspiring. From 2007, here's Children of Conflict.
Gaza, one of the world's biggest news stories. But one of the smallest and most claustrophobic strips of land on Earth. A virtual prison with no way out and hardly any way in. The years of conflict with Israel have left Gaza in ruins.
My granny sacrificed herself and blew herself up.
And I will recruit the other children here for martyrdom.
Today, Gaza feels like a population living on a life support machine. There's not enough of anything anymore. Money, water, food, or medicine.
I know what death means. I know what blood means. I know what war means.
I'm scared. I think we're going to die. Death is coming.
This tiny strip of land is bordered by Israel, Egypt, and the Mediterranean Sea. Entry to Gaza is through checkpoints, all of which are controlled by Israel. Gaza makes up only 6% of the Palestinian territories, yet contains nearly half of its population, around 1.4 million people. 50% are children under the age of 10. Roughly twice the size of Washington, D.C., Gaza is one of the most densely populated places in the world. Fatima Al Naja was a grandmother to 23 grandchildren. These are just some of them. She'd had a tough life. 2 of her children had been killed and others were in prison, and her own house had been destroyed, forcing her to live with relatives. When she died, all she had was a room with a wardrobe, a bed, and a nail to hang things on. She lived in dire poverty. But she chose to die in desperate anger. Last November, at the age of 67, Fatima became the oldest female Palestinian suicide bomber. She approached a group of soldiers and detonated explosives strapped around her waist. Two weeks before her death, Fatima went on a women's protest in the town of Beit Hanun. While she was there, she witnessed the massacre of 13 children and the death of one of her friends. Her family say it was the tipping point.
She went to Beit Hanun to break the mosque siege. She was the first woman to confront the Israeli soldiers and walk right between the tanks. We were surprised she came back to us alive after that. We thought she would get killed there.
Fatima's grandchildren say she came back from Beit Hanun a changed person. She was unusually quiet, and she chose to spend time with each of the children individually.
She bought me a dress that was worth 30 shekels, and I hadn't been able to pay her back. She said to me, "I'll let you off the debt if I die today." But I didn't take her seriously. I mean, she was normal. She was helping us to bake the bread before she went out to die. I suppose she may have been trying to tell me indirectly, but her words were full of riddles.
The grandchildren insist they had no idea what she was planning to do.
We are astonished at what happened. We all miss her dearly. The little ones cry for her and call her name at night. They really loved her a lot. They keep visiting her. They go to her room and knock on the door as if she's still there. They sit on her bed and reminisce about her. They keep calling her name and asking her to come back.
I wish I could have said goodbye, and then I would have got her last words of advice on how she was going to do this. Who drove her to this ideology? I have dealings with the movement, but they are saying very little to me. I'm trying to find out the address or the person to talk to. I want to do the same. I want to know how to do this.
Are you serious, Fatima? You're 14 years old.
Yes, if you look at it from a view that life is just a passage, then age is not an obstacle. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to raise my little sister to think in this way. This wouldn't worry me, and I will recruit the other children here for martyrdom.
Isn't it sad that kids of your age are making these choices?
No, it's not sad. Life is a passage. It's not a sad thing.
Whether you become a martyr or not, you die in the end. We're all going to die anyway.
My grandmother will be a very good example for the children to follow. She will give them the passion for martyrdom and raise them in the love of their land. And when they grow up, they will learn to defend Palestine and they will revenge their grandmother.
Do you ever think about the kids in Israel? Do you ever wonder if, for example, the children in Sderot, do you think that they might be suffering too?
Yes, of course. But just like our children live under constant fear, their children should also experience the same fear and terror. That's a normal reaction. I refuse to accept that the other children of the world can live in peace and security while the children of Palestine live under terror.
The children are growing up really thinking that this is normal. Not being able to move around, having difficulty getting to school, violence, their siblings, friends being killed.
Gaza and Palestine in general, it looks like a prison. When you want to go from here, Gaza, to Ramallah, for example, you have to go through the checkpoints and to have many questions. Although it's our land, there is no place to go because every good place, the Israelis destroy it. Here they know what war means, what death means. They see blood. They know everything about politics. They just live in a political situation. All in schools they talk about politics. When they play, you can see them shooting other by toys. I'm a child. I know what death means. I know what blood means. I know what war means for us. I know, they know, I know, and all the children know how the feeling of not having a mom, a dad, or brother.
The democratically elected government of the Palestinian territories is Hamas, but the West regard Hamas as a terrorist organisation and have frozen aid to both Gaza and the West Bank. The economy has collapsed, and civil servants haven't been paid for over a year.
It's beyond people's coping mechanisms. They can't cope anymore, and that's certainly what we're seeing here in Gaza. People have sold anything that they might have to enable them to get by, and they're just not making ends meet anymore. We're seeing poverty rates really get much worse. People are living on less than $2 a day. Over 80% of the population are now at that rate of poverty, which is comparable to with some of the poorest places in the world.
The sea, a source of food and income, is patrolled by the Israeli military. Gaza's fishermen can only fish safely in shallow but polluted waters. They say these days they are lucky to catch a handful of sardines. So mostly the boats don't bother to go out anymore. The land here is fertile, and Gaza used to have a thriving agriculture industry. But with the sealed borders, these farmers can't sell their crops. Many children have had to drop out of school to support their families. In these fields, I saw children as young as 5 spending back-breaking 10-hour days picking carrots. They earned just 30 shekels. That's about $5 a day. This is Al-Shoka, a village overlooked by Gaza airport. The whole area was destroyed by Israeli tanks in August 2006 during a military incursion. Israel says it has to carry out these incursions to protect itself. The people here didn't do anything wrong. These houses, and the families in them, were simply in the way. This mother told me she used to have a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, a washing machine, and a TV. Now all she has is a few dirty blankets under some plastic sheeting.
The bulldozers opened the barbed wire and they came to Al-Shoka. They told us to get outside. I was scared from the sound. It explodes. I left all the toys where the bulldozers were. They broke my toys. They are under the house. They didn't leave us anything except one tree. Then they went over there.
Living conditions like this are particularly hard on children. There's no sanitation, no clean water, no shelter from the cold. There's not even a safe place to play. And if the children get sick, there are no doctors. But even if there were, their parents couldn't pay anyway. This road runs through the middle of the Gaza Strip. During the years that Israeli settlers lived here, it was closed to the Palestinians. The settlers left in 2005, and their homes were destroyed by the Israeli military. Many Palestinian homes still bear the scars of the battles surrounding the settlements. Battles the Bashir family were right in the middle of. Their tall 4-story house is situated between a former settlement village and a Palestinian village. The Israeli military tried to take over the house because it wanted to use it as a lookout position, but the family refused to leave. So, the soldiers took the top 2 floors, and the Bashirs, who have 6 children, stayed on the ground too.
The first time I saw the soldiers, I was scared, but I got used to them, and then I wasn't so scared. I asked them if I could go to the toilet, but the soldiers said no. They would not allow me to go. They did not let me, so I wet myself. They forced us outside, and they took my dad and myself, and they blindfolded me. And this was the most scary thing of all.
And how do you feel now this is over, now the soldiers have gone?
I'm so happy now they have gone. Now I can go out whenever I like. At night and day, people can come and see us. I'm happy even my close friends can come visit me, and I can go to their houses. I mean, I'm happy, happy, happy.
As internal tensions rise in Gaza, children have also been caught in the crossfire between Hamas and Fatah, the 2 leading Palestinian political parties. In December 2006, 3 children were killed when their car was riddled with bullets in an apparent attack on their father, a senior Fatah intelligence official. Over 50 children have been killed in the past 3 months. and more than half of Gaza's children are thought to be suffering psychological damage as a result of trauma.
All this destruction and mess, we just want it removed. We want it back as it used to be before, with all the trees. We want peace in this village because we always live in fear and we don't feel safe in these houses. I swear, we heard the sound of rockets and the noise of shooting and everything. We'd love some peace in this world, especially in Gaza.
What would she say to the politicians on both sides?
My first word is directed to the Arabs. You talk about saving children, and you speak much about children, but you don't really mean what you say, because children do not have any rights here. To Ehud Olmert, the Prime Minister of Israel, I say to him, why do you kill children who are innocent? I think it's because he and the Israelis are scared of children. This is because they think the children will grow up to be fighters. It's the opposite. I want to tell him the children aspire to be educated, go to the university, get PhDs. They want an education. They just want an education.
Violence, poverty, politics. Daily reality for the children of Gaza.
In Gaza, the population is estimated to be about 1.4 million, and over half of these people are children. Just think about what kind of impact that has in the longer term for a whole generation. It's got to be addressed.
I really dream to be a journalist because when I get bigger, I'll describe the situation here. I'll tell everybody how we live, how we suffer.
God willing, I would like to be a professor of chemistry at university. That's if I do not succeed in being a martyr.
And when you become the first female president of Palestine, which I'm absolutely sure you're going to be, what are the first 3 things you're going to do?
If I'm president, inshallah, I would first give children all their rights, so they don't have to live in the sadness and misery that we live in. Second, I would remove all this rubbish. I would not leave it the way it is now. I would see that there are municipalities that could clear the mess left behind by the Israelis. And third, I'll build a new country.
Children of Conflict from 2007. Now, that was more than 10 years ago. So what has become of the kids we met in that film? In the decades since Children of Conflict, conditions in Gaza have deteriorated badly, and there were major Israeli incursions in 2009 and 2014. We returned recently to Gaza to find out what has happened to those children who by now are well into their teens and their 20s.
فاطمة النجار مهندسة حاسوب ومعايا تأهيل تربوي متزوجة عمري 26 سنة. أنت لما تتلقي خبر إنه ستك توفت استشهدت عشان قضية وفي هذا الوقت إنه حيكون عندك زي ردة فعل تمام. فأنا يعني كنت أول كأني أول المتأكدين معها أول موافقين على ضربها إني أنا حكون استشهادية. وأنا مش شرط إني أكون استشهادية بتفجير نفسي، أنا بكفي إني أربي أجيالي اللي يكونوا مش 1 فاطمة 10 فاطمة وأنا منهم. هي الأمومة بتعطيكي شغلات كتير بتخلي مستواك العقلي إنه يطلع كتير فوق، يعني بتبطل إنه الأشياء تنحصر بحياتك، إن أنا أصبحت مهندسة، أنا حافظة القرآن الكريم، أنا ما شاء الله بحمد الله يعني إنه أنا حاصلة على دورات عديدة جدا، أنا أسرتي أسرة ناجحة في كل المجالات الحمد لله. أنا كمان بدي أنقل هاي الفكرة إنه مش استشهاد وبس، في أشياء كتير ممكن نعملها عشان إحنا نأكد وجودنا.
اسمي زانا بشير، عمري 21، بأدرس طب أسنان في جامعة الأزهر. أنا كنت مقررة إنه راح أدرس طب أسنان بألمانيا لأنه إخواني هناك، فبدأت عادي، أخذت لغة وكنت عايشة بأحلام، يعني شايفة حياة غير حياة يعني. طلعت لي فيزا وقبول وكان كله ماشي تمام، بس كنتش أعرف إنه عن جد المعبر راح يكون هو النهاية يعني. وخلص يعني مر وقت وأنا أحكي لا مستحيل، أكيد راح يفتح المعبر وأكيد راح أسافر، لعند ما لقيت حالي في جامعة الأزهر. لو حدا جرب أو عاش اللي أنا عشته، يعني أنا بالنسبة لي اليوم مش زي أي حد ممكن يتذكر عن طفولته كرتون، ألعاب. أنا كتير بس بتذكر الجيش، يعني أنا بتذكر كيف كنت أخاف. في ال5 سنين أنا شفت كتير جيش، ويمكن في ناس يعني في جيش أنا بتذكرهم لليوم. فبحكي أنا يعني بدي أعمل كل إشي عشان أكون دكتورة أسنان كتير مشهورة لدرجة إنه حد يتذكرني فيهم، يتذكر إنه من فترة طويلة أنا كنت يعني حابس هادي مع أهلها في غرفة، وهي اليوم كتير حد ناجح. أنا هاي دايما بتخيل هذا الإشي.
ليلى سمير يوسف النجار، أبلغ من العمر 24 عاماً. غزة تحت وقع الاحتلال، تحت سيطرة الاحتلال. هي في كل لحظة وفي كل دقيقة تشعر كل يعني من هو في غزة، سواء طفل أو شيخ أو شاب، يعني مين مكان يشعر بالخوف، لأنه التهديد متواصل، التهديد لا ينقطع.
أنا زياد سليمان أبو ختلة، عمري 17 سنة، بدرس بصف عاشر. حرب 2014 غصبوا المدرسة وأنا صوبت وأخوي استشهد. كنت قاعد زي هيك، غير فجأة نزل الصاروخ، ما شفت حالي غير متصاوب وأخوي ميت على جنبي طايح. كنا أصحاب أخوه. فأحسه من الدار ملهاش مفقود، حاجة زي هيك. خلاص صار عندي هيك بتذكره وكنا نلعب أنا وياه، وكنت بزعل لما أفقده ولا حاجة.
اسمي تهال أبو عادرة، العمر 22 سنة، درست إدارة صحية، وحالياً خريج في البيت. للأسف الوضع في ازداد سوء. الشعب الفلسطيني لا هو عايش بأمان ولا هو يعني حاسس بالأمان في المكان اللي هو موجود فيه، بسبب الاحتلال من ناحية وبسبب الحصار المفروض عليه من ناحية تانية. هو بسبب الحروب اللي صارت علينا، بسبب الإسرائيليين. فقدنا 2 أعزاء إخوتي، وفقدنا البيت يعني كذا مرة. الإشي هذا أكيد سبب فينا جرح كبير للعائلة، ويعني مش جرح مؤقت، جرح طول العمر. بس في نفس الوقت يعني إخوة الباقيين نفس مع اليهود والحروب اللي بتصير، تتوقع إن في أي يوم ممكن تفقد أي واحد فيهم، معروف يعني. واللي صار أكيد سبب فينا جرح كبير يعني.
A remarkable insight into a decade of growing up in Gaza. Well, that's it from us. Do join us again next time, and do check out our rewind page at aljazeera.com for more films from the series. But for now, thanks for joining us, and see you again soon.